Good evening, and thank you for joining us for our News at 10 tonight. I'm Brittany Cooper.
And I'm Joe Downs. Tonight's top story, Jerome County Sheriff George Oppedyk is set to retire next month after 22 years in law enforcement. The announcement comes about halfway through his current 4-year term.
Now, new documents obtained by KMVT shows this follows an investigation into a public corruption complaint against the sheriff. As hometown reporter Cole Quinn shows us, the investigation include allegations that the sheriff misused the flock camera system.
We got our camera system up and running in March.
Chief Deputy Gary Taylor with the Jerome County Sheriff's Office says they got their flock camera system up and running a year ago. Flock cameras use a network of automatic license plate readers, which take pictures of the back license plate of a vehicle as it passes a certain location. The system logs that information into a national database that authorities can search for up to 30 days before it's deleted. According to Idaho statute, automated license plate reader data shall not be used for any non-law enforcement purpose, including but not limited to personal use, political activity, or surveillance outside of law enforcement and traffic flow analysis purposes. Twin Falls Police Chief Matthew Hicks says his department has used the system for the past 3 years.
We've used this for tremendous success to solve a number of crimes, ranging from people wanted for individual crimes, stolen vehicles, all the way up to rescuing a child that had been kidnapped out of state and was being driven through our area.
But a few months after the flock cameras went live in Jerome County, someone with the sheriff's office noticed something unusual.
A lieutenant who is in charge of our flock system found a discrepancy in searching, that it was done for reasons that he couldn't determine, and there was a lot of searches.
Chief Deputy Taylor says last July he was alerted to flock camera search logs containing hundreds of searches made by Jerome County Sheriff George Oppedyk, labeled as test, and all for the same vehicle.
Typically, the tests that we've run have been on our county vehicles to make sure that's the only one we're looking for. And we know what route we're driving to make sure the cameras are picking up that plate.
Chief Deputy Taylor adds that the sheriff's office doesn't run tests very often. And for the sheriff's searches, the vehicle didn't belong to the county. Also, the tests weren't just run on Jerome County's flock system. According to Chief Hicks, they also included Twin Falls.
So we cannot find any legitimate reason why one individual would run one plate numerous times for a test.
Following this discovery, Chief Deputy Taylor says he notified the Idaho Attorney General's office, in line with a state law that went into effect that same month, requiring, quote, semi-annual audits of automated license plate reader data to detect and address any unauthorized or suspicious activity.
I couldn't report it directly to Twin at the time. I wanted to, but I was told because they had an active investigation to hold off until they were done.
In September, the AG's office issued a subpoena to the county for all flock camera agreements or contracts and all policies about personnel use of the system, as well as peace officer standings and training records for 2024. Following an investigation, the Attorney General's office sent a letter to Jerome County's prosecuting attorney on February 11th regarding a public corruption complaint. In it, the AG's office acknowledged that in addition to allegations that the sheriff had misused agency equipment, they also looked into claims of falsified certification records and employee time cards. According to the letter, quote, the flock system indicated that in 1 month's time in 2025, the sheriff queried his wife's license plate number approximately 152 times. Also, quote, his stated purpose was to check the system's reliability ahead of a contract decision, end quote. Flock camera logs obtained by KMVT show that Sheriff Oppedyk searched for the vehicle more than 700 times between early July and mid-September.
Welcome back, FightFlock.com. In today's video, we're going to discuss another case of misuse and abuse of the flock database system by law enforcement. In today's video, we're going to discuss a sheriff of Jerome County, Idaho. He was busted out for stalking his wife. This is Sheriff George Oppedyk of Jerome County. So he's been on duty about 2 years as a sheriff, about halfway through a 4-year term, and he got busted out checking on his wife. He basically searched the flock database system over 700 times. Searched his wife's tag number on her car over 700 times, and that's according to the local news there, KMVT News. So good job on the local news there. For coming up with that. So he was basically checking on his old lady, and this happened back in July of 2025, so it was last summer, and this went on for a couple months. He was checking on her, and basically July to September of 2025, and a lieutenant of Jerome County, so a lieutenant on the sheriff's own staff, discovered this while he was doing a flock audit, and he reported it to the authorities. So that basically that was a good thing to his credit for the lieutenant. And we don't have his name. He is unnamed in this report, but I'm sure they know who it is. And he was the whistleblower. So if it wasn't for a whistleblower, we would not know about this case. And again, all these flock use and abuse cases come to light because of whistleblowers. And you know, there's many more cases going on out there, many more cases out there that we don't know of. I'm certain of that. So looks like, yeah, Sheriff George Oppedyk, he's 22 years in law enforcement. He was a sheriff again for 2 years, about halfway through his term. And just last month, he announced his retirement. How about that? Because of these charges, or because of this investigation. In fact, the DA announced they were checking out old Sheriff George, and they had 3 investigations going on. He was being investigated for the flock camera use and abuse, for checking out his wife over 700 times. He was also being investigated for time card fraud and training records falsification. So there was 3 investigations going on, and the DA just recently come out and said he's not going to face any charges. The sheriff is not going to be charged. He is going to be walking away into the sunset, and he announces his retirement. His last day will be April 18th, 2026. So Sheriff George will basically, he's going to get out of Dodge before the heat gets turned up on him, and that's probably a smart thing to do. So he's out of there, and we are left with no charges against him. Okay, he should be facing 700 felonies, 1 felony count for each time he searched his wife's tag. This is basically tells me in Idaho the good old boy system is alive and well, and that is a shame. So here we are as citizens. We face justice. If we would do something wrong, we have to face justice. We have to deal with the repercussions of things like that, and face charges and get attorneys and have to get defense attorneys, and we have to fight, for our rights. But these folks, especially the blue line folks, they walk off into the sunset unscathed. And the problem is, it's a 2-tier system, right? There's those above the law, and there's those who have to go by laws, and that's us citizens we have to go by laws. And we're the ones that basically suffer all the repercussions of all these laws that are passed. Every year, there's thousands of laws passed around this country. Who can even keep track of the number of laws that we get passed every year, and plus the laws that have been passed in previous years? And we're supposed to remember all this, and we're held responsible for all this. It's really ridiculous. So the DA here, looking at my notes here, the DA is saying that no charges are coming because it was just policy violations, and they're not able to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Sheriff George Oppedyk violated any laws. So thus, no charges forthcoming. So that is a shame that he's going to get to walk away scot-free, but I'm not surprised. So Sheriff, here's Sheriff George. He's some happier times here. He's leaning up on the Super Duty there. Sheriff George Oppedyk walks free. Again, searched his wife's car tag 700 times. And in his, basically the only statement he made on this, he said it was a test. He was testing the flock system for a upcoming audit. So basically he put in the, in the audit log, TEST, test, and he searched his wife's tag over 700 times. And he was saying that was a test of the flock system, make sure it was working. And that's obviously a bunch of baloney, and we all know that. He could have tracked a police car or another county vehicle, just got one of those tags. He could have got the tag number off this Super Duty and, just track that thing around town, make sure the flock system was working. So obviously we know he's full of crap, okay? And the DA obviously bought all this, and this is the problem, right? Obviously, again, like I said, there's a 2-tier justice system, okay? Those that will face charges and those that walk away scot-free. And this case really irks me because he should be facing charges, going on trial, and he should be at least minimum facing some jail time, if not probation. But he'll walk away. And this is again, this case is hard to believe a sheriff would be doing something like this. He's the highest law enforcement person in the whole county, and he got busted out. But Good thing for the whistleblowers, but we don't have enough of them. We need more, because obviously we know there's more of this going on every single day. But thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. And this video was brought to me by a viewer, a local, a loyal supporter, and I appreciate all my supporters. This supporter will go unnamed. But if you do send me information I use for the video, I will obviously give you credit if you want credit publicly. If not, I understand that totally. In this case, my viewer wants to remain anonymous, and I totally get that, 100% understand that. But thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. And please subscribe. Thank you.